Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clicken Bricken.
What? Good evening.
Morning, evening, wherever you are. Over the sea, it's morning. It's
I
whatever.
didn't even catch it.
Dude,
Hi.
it's been a long day. How's everybody doing today? How you doing, Cal? Did you have a good week?
I did, and it was the final week of my kids' summer. So they go back to school tomorrow, so I get to go send them off. Get a little I'm so excited. Yes.
He's so excited. Heather, how about you? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it was a busy first week of shipping the August bundles out to everybody, but we're well underway.
There you go. Yeah, well, guys.
I'm excited.
My week has been busy.
Yeah.
Long. And we're getting ready to start doing it all over again. But yeah,
Monday again.
We're going to say hi to everybody real quick in chat. What's up, dude? Jude.
Hi, dude, Jude.
What's up, dude? Jude? He was ready. What's up, Sethy, the producer? What's up?
Sethy.
We got Mr. Blue.
Hey, Blue.
We got Scott Blocks. How you doing? Good evening.
Got
And we got a Hoosier A. How you doing, Hoosier? Welcome.
Hello.
Well, hope everybody's having a good day. We do have a special guest today. Cal, I'm going to let you introduce him.
Okay.
Cal's the one who went and got this.
This is fun. I now here's the thing though. Before we bring him in, so I was watching YouTube, some Lego content had to have been, and I seen a commercial, and it brought up their name. So I looked into this. I love what they do, and I said, you know what, we got to figure out how we're gonna make this work. So we figured out how we're gonna make it work. We're gonna introduce him now. This is he was there.
He was there.
Hi, Holden. This is Holden with Sparks Blocks. Hey, you're on mute real quick.
Perfect. Now I'm here. All right, I was just grabbing some blocks and everything on the floor. So surrounded right now. You're in good company.
Very cool. Yeah. So this is what we do for special guest night. We kind of just bring you in and let the audience kind of probe you. So
okay.
Tell us.
Whoa! We're not aliens over here.
Wait. Now I'm the cow and aliens, so it's probing night. I tell everybody that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna share if you want just a little background. But then, I would really love to hear people's questions and what they're wondering about, because we're at the front end of kind of introducing Spark Blocks to the world. And, we have so many crazy ideas in our head of what this should be. But the reality is, we need to know what people out there actually want, right? So I'm really all about hearing what people are curious about and which directions we should push this. So but maybe I can start with just a few words about it.
Yeah.
You got the floor, good sir.
Well, my co-founder Mark and I met last summer, and he had been working on this idea of Spark Blocks for the last couple of years. This idea that Lego brick could be more than that, or a plastic building brick could be more than that, and it could be something that has actual electric circuits inside. And so in my hand, this is a two-directional LED, and you have a resistor and an LED going in each direction. And then on the back, it's marked clearly two-direction LED with resistors. And if I can just find a battery, that would be helpful. And we have batteries, and you can just click it on, and that's kind of funny that it doesn't work. Oh, there you go. So this, I happen to grab a one direction one because these are prototypes, but I bet if I grab this two direction and it's blue, and then I'll take it off and spin it. And
no way.
Wow.
So this is kind of the most basic circuit you could build with our stuff. But then when you start adding in things like switches that open and close the circuit, or potentiometers that vary the resistance by a knob, or light sensors, these are photoresistors or transistors. You can make all sorts of really cool stuff. And so the idea is that Mark and I are so excited to let people bring together their passion with building things and then bringing those things to life. And so kind of, I'll get into the products a little bit later, but that means you can do all sorts of fun stuff. Like you can build yourself an ant that it looks cool and, you know, will appear in your yard, but then you could actually have it walking with a nice little switch.
Nice.
And of course you could do this with other systems such as Lego that have motor. But to do this, you actually have to learn about what a circuit is doing rather than just snapping it together and hoping that that black box system takes care of itself. And so, yeah, so it kind of works on a couple of levels. So we've been working the last few months together to launch a Kickstarter, and that just happened. It ended actually about a month ago, which is wild how fast time flies. But on the Kickstarter, we had a couple of different main level rewards, which people can back. And this is not particularly promotional, but if you want to find us, go to sparkbox.ca and you can click through from there to get some late pledges on the Kickstarter site still.
Nice.
And so what we offered were basically like 3 levels of what they call rewards. And the first is an intro to circuits kit. And so I can kind of show you some of that. So it's a little box like this, and it contains, I'd love to not dump everything out on the floor, but it basically contains all your spark blocks. You've got a motor here, you've got connective wires, a speaker, the potentiometer fits in this hole, a siren there. And then up top, you've got a whole bunch of plastic bricks that you can then build all sorts of creations like a helicopter and a Morse code machine and a random number picker and all this kind of stuff with everything contained here. And so this is your intro to circuits kit. And I think it goes without saying, but I might as well mention these click on to all the Legos and other blocks that you love, because that's an open standard now, basically, for the last few decades. And then above that, we have an advanced kit, and that introduces things like transistors, capacitors, resistors. We have a remote control block where you can turn things on and off from across the room. We've got a higher torque motor. So in the intro kit, you get a fast, flimsy motor that's really great for young kids to like stick their finger into a fan and not get hurt. But it doesn't do a great job driving machines. And so in the advanced kit, we have higher torque gearbox motors. And some other stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, that leads to all sorts of new things, because then you can actually use this as a generator to generate electricity and power up lights or whatever else you want to as well.
I love it.
Yeah. And then we also, the kind of third product category we kind of talk about are our classroom sets. And that more or less is just an amalgamation of the intro and the advanced kits for now. Although there will be a whole bunch of curriculum elements, from videos to worksheets to, testing plans and all that kind of stuff too. So that's the basics of Sparkbox products. And then we really wanted to see what people were interested in terms of kind of going beyond the kits. And so we decided to offer a bunch of add-on rewards. And I just showed off one of them. That's your walking ant. And it actually just does walk along, which is kind of cool. Then we have, let me see if I can grab one. Well, it's halfway put together. But this is a car, and it doesn't have its roof and everything else on there, but it's got a motor that turns just one wheel, so that you can actually learn the difference between different types of transmissions and all that. So it's pretty basic. And then lights and sound, which are not hooked up right now, although I could probably just grab a speaker. Let's see how well things go when they're live.
Pretty sure all the mock builders out there are absolutely loving this.
I am.
Yeah. Although, who knows about this light? What's going on with this? But anyway, so we've got the ant and the kind of patrol car, and then we've got a fire truck. And then my favorite, although it didn't quite sell as well, was what we call the Mighty Machines kit. And I actually have only one of the machines built. So we've got slow turning windmill, kind of just teaches you the basics about turning gears in different directions. And then the next up in that kit, it's a 3-in-1, so you can build any of these 3. The next up is a candy dispenser. So you can put like M&Ms or different things in, and it'll like dispense. It's kind of like sitting on your desk, kind of a fun toy. And then my favorite of the Mighty Machines kit is this marble lifter. And so you kind of, again, I don't want to tip it too much to dump everything out, but you basically got like this marble track, and then you can kind of see marbles inside there. And I don't know if I turn it on. Let's see what happens. I'll probably tilt my camera down, but yeah, so it's kind of this thing.
GBC.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not so great up in your hand, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So that's the entirety of what was on Kickstarter, and people have gone nuts, and they've gotten. I thought everybody was going to want just the intro kit, like just test the waters. You know, we're really allegiant to Lego brand. We don't like supporting weird stuff, so that kind of thing. But everybody's like upgrading and getting all sorts of add-ons and getting the advanced kit, and yeah, it kind of blew up bigger than we thought it would, which was good in one way to have like fans and a community come in together. But then in the other hand, we don't make any money at these prices. So I actually kind of want to pump the brakes and be like, whoa, let's get into production and drive down our costs.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the spiel, I guess. And in there.
There we go. Scotty had a question here real quick for you. He's curious about the capability of those little motors.
Okay, yes. So let's see. So there's 2 motors we have, and part of that is intentional to teach the difference between high speed and high torque. And I'm just going to do it super simple because I can't really angle my camera down right now. But this is our what we call the R300. Why is this not coming off? This one actually doesn't have any pad printing on it. Again, prototype land, but it's just basically a flat pancake motor, and it'll have some markings on it and all that kind of stuff, but there's no gearbox on it. So it spins really easily, but there's no oomph behind it. So when I put together a little fan for kids to play with, it's fun. And then they can actually just like stop it really easily and not get hurt. So it's just kind of more of like a whimsical thing that helps you bring a circuit to life. But then this other motor we call the N20 motor, and it's got a gearbox attached. And this is our old branding, Block and Code. That's our parent company, but it'll say Spark Blocks on there in the future. And there's a couple things I can show off here. If I just grab one more block, let's see.
Exciting.
There's another question about that torque for you.
Yeah.
Scott says about how much weight do you think the high torque motor would actually pull?
Yeah, I've been trying to quantify this. You know, this is the funny thing. Like, we didn't design this motor from scratch. We found kind of some of the most common motors that are in high production in China and what would fit well into a package. So like the high speed motor is a 4x4 stud, and this one's a 2x4 too high. So I don't have good figures on that. If there's a more exact question, I can try and answer it. But basically, like, it works to lift up things like marbles and move things like ants and little cars. It's not going to be like, I've had people writing in like they wanted to control their actual sprinkler system and all this. And I'm like, no. Like, this is still bench top.
How about a crane?
It depends what we're lifting. Like, if you're going to work on the bridge they're building outside, probably not, right?
Oh,
like,
okay.
one, then sure, that will be fine. Yeah. So
I wonder how fast. So I guess it depends on the gear ratio, how fast you can make a car go with the motor. But
exactly, yeah. So I would say, like, it's not going to be winning any awards on speed, but it's really functional for kind of showing off, what you built and actually bringing things to life. And we haven't gotten too many requests from like train aficionados, but I'm guessing we're going to have a lot of them asking to like drive their trains around at different speeds and all that kind of stuff. And we can do the basics of that for sure.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, go ahead, Cliff.
That was going to be my question about if you could make it, put it on the Lego trains and use it as a motor somehow. But
yeah, definitely. I mean, anything you can attach a Lego to, we use the standard output axle, right? So like you can use regular gears on there. Nice. Yeah. One other thing I wanted to show, which is pretty fun for people, is if you take a motor and you hook up a battery, it takes the electrical current, puts it into the windings inside the motor, and then produces mechanical movement at the other side. But something a lot of people don't know is if you have a motor without a power source and you introduce mechanical motion either through your hand or through some system, you actually get electricity out on those same power points. And so this is really fun for people to be able to just spin a motor. Oh, I don't know if you can see that.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I already told you guys that this is a two-way LED. So we spin it one way and we get blue light, and if we spin
No
it
way.
we get red light.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is like the minimum viable or like most tactile way of understanding that your actions have real consequences in this world, and the power from your hands can be transformed into other types of power that we're all used to using on a daily basis. So I really like that demo, and kids, they're kind of like, it takes them a minute because, you know, a lot of times they feel like kids, they don't feel like their stuff actually matters in the world or whatever else. So like when they do this and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm lighting it up and it's so cool. And then they're like, but I want it to stay lit for longer. I'm like, okay, now let's talk about batteries and other energy storage. And like, this leads to other things.
That is so cool.
So yeah, it's just these little basic components that can lead to so many fun moments out there in the world.
Right.
Yeah. And we're still designing some of the theme builds that come with the advanced kit. Honestly, we didn't know if anyone was going to buy the advanced kit, so we didn't bother designing too many things out before the Kickstarter. But we've now been designing them, and we have fun things like a night light, which is awesome, and a conveyor belt that has, you know, a remote control from across the room and stuff like that. A dancing figurine and stuff like that. And it's like, it's getting very fun what you can do with so many limited, well, like with so few and such limited circuit pieces, you can actually do quite a bit with these plastic bricks. So yeah.
Yes.
Now I watched a video. You made a Morse code little. That was pretty cool. He showed me that video. Like that is cool.
I think that might be my favorite. So our intro kit comes with this little plastic bag of parts. It's like 23 parts right now. And it has, you know, part of it is the windmill and whatever else. So you can make a little fun toy helicopter. But I think out of the 6 builds we're including with this bag, I think the Morse code is my favorite because I don't know if you noticed, Cliff, did you notice it has like a couple different modes it can work in?
Yeah, you had a switch, so you can do it silently, then you can turn it on and little beeps.
So just like, you know, when we were kids, I have this kind of I won't say memory because I never did it, but this idea of having like your best buddy just in the next house over, and you've got this string between your tin cans, and you're like talking back and forth. Well, I think that this idea of like a little Morse code machine that could be in silent mode, and you could just have a light that lights up. You could be doing the same thing with your buddy, you know, in any kind of weather without having to run your string back and forth. And I think that's just really fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Guys, just an idea here, but a photocell would be a really cool accessory for this product.
100%. Let me just make sure I understand, Scott. Are you talking about a mini solar panel? Well, it'll take a minute to type, but yes, that is definitely on our roadmap. Like this intro and advanced kit are kind of the beginning of an entire system of learning that we're planning to launch. And, you know, if we get through production this fall, we do plan on launching another Kickstarter in the spring, and I don't want to say too much about it, but it will probably involve things like clean energy exploration. It will probably involve things like tiny home kits, and it might also involve microcontrollers. So we've been prototyping an Arduino and an ESP32, and they're all in the same form factor where you can literally just click on the bricks that you have, and then program on your computer and bring things to life. And that's when at that level, I think of things like, you know, complex train sets and everything else that needs a little more, the coding basically. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot in there, but again, I want to know what people are asking about to know what I should build.
Hobby's asking, can you order the marble kit now?
Yeah, so this yes. The short answer is yes. Go on Kickstarter, go to late pledge, go to sparkbox.ca, click through to our Kickstarter. It's the like buy now button or whatever. It'll take you to Kickstarter and look for, if you want the marble kit, you have to get one of our base kits. So I get the Intro to Circuits kit, and then under add-ons, the marble lifter comes in our Mighty Machines kit. And I'm sorry if that's a little convoluted. Again, like there were constraints in the Kickstarter system. So, but let me just, before we go on to the next one, light sensor, got it. We actually paused the marble lifter and the Ant and the patrol car and all this because we were running into challenges sourcing the plastic bricks. So like we're taking full responsibility for getting Sparkbox into production and everything else. And that's a big enough challenge in itself, right? Our kits have over 200 unique part numbers, and it's just a nightmare for two guys to try and do. And so then when our brick supplier, our plastic brick supplier, who has, you know, every brick under the sun, is like, I can't get 3 of the parts in this kit and 2 of the parts in that kit. I was like, hang on, I got to focus on Sparkbox. Maybe I shouldn't be selling marble lifters and cars and ants and all this other stuff. Like I only have so many hours. So we actually paused all that riffraff for a few weeks just to focus on Sparkbox and working on supplier relationships for the bricks. And now they're all sorted. We're pretty sure. And so I've turned those back on. So yeah, you can order the marble lifter now.
Nice.
The marble lifter is awesome. The candy dispenser that comes with is more difficult to get right because we're not shipping candy. Like we're actually shipping custom marbles with this because most marbles you find are 16 millimeter marbles, and a 2x2 brick is just under 16 millimeters. So like with the variability of the marbles and the whole size of Lego, most house marbles will mostly work and then sometimes get stuck. So we've had to source custom marbles. So that works well now because we're providing these. But for the candy dispenser, I'm not going to get into the candy shipping business. So I kind of as an open challenge of like, go try your Skittles, go try your M&Ms, go try your Smarties. Like depending what country you live in, you're going to have different candies. And guess what? If it gets stuck, that's on you to like redesign your machine and like level up your building abilities, because I can't control everything in the world. And like, that's where the plastic bricks stop and the real world starts.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the windmill is like, I think it's like a basic part of any little home diorama system. And so it should be there. But it really is less interactive than the other two in the machines kit. Yeah.
Well, see, that'd be awesome because you can use your spark blocks there, and people can add it to their mocks, and they can build it and design their mocks in a way where whatever those will work best for their mock, and they can build it. So I like that idea. You give people more of an option to better their mock building skills. And
100%, yeah. Cal, can we put that comment back up about the photo cell? Because I actually didn't read the full length of it.
Yes.
And I want to make sure I respond appropriately.
Oh, wrong one, sorry.
It's okay. Sorry, Cliff, you've got control. Okay, so not a light sensor. It controls outdoor lights. Turn off your bedroom light and your Lego turns on. So that is this part. That ships in the intro kit and the advanced kit. I can't remember whether that's called a photo cell. I always call it a photo resistor. And the funny thing is you can actually generate power with this, but it's like not worth waking up over. But this is I don't know if prototype's the right word, but this is a nightlight basically. So when I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Yeah. So when I cover up the photo sensor, that light goes on.
Hang on. We're going to put you on big screen.
Okay. So when I cover it, it goes blue. And when I take my finger away, it goes off.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So that is working. And then what we added just the other day was, I don't think you're going to be able to see this. So down in here, like this white brick below the battery actually has an IR receiver. And so, whoa, well, there went that. So when you're across the room and, maybe your nightlight went on when you flipped off the light at the wall or whatever. And so your light's on. And then you're like, okay, I actually want to go to bed. Then you turn it off.
Look at that. Oh, snap.
Yeah. And so then in the morning, or you wake up in the middle of the night, you want to get a drink of water. So you use your remote and you turn it on. And then you flip on the light in the bathroom and the nightlight goes off. So yeah, it's already working. It's already there. That's the good news. And what we've got to do is just transform this kind of heinous creation into something that's a little more palatable. So we're thinking maybe we'll make it like into a castle, or maybe, I don't want to be too gendered about everything, but like a little house or a castle or something like that.
You got their minds. Yep.
Yeah.
You got them.
Yeah.
You say castle, and I'm all in.
No,
Right on. That's awesome.
as you're explaining this, I see the hearts and the guts of the operation. So then that you can then form the show per se as to your mock, as to what you want that to be. So like you're saying, it could be formed into a castle and still have the hearts and guts as your mechanism inside. I love that. I'm a mock builder. We're pretty much, most of us are mock builders. So like,
yeah, good. So maybe I feel bad asking out of place here, but I need some help from you. When I grew up with Legos, we put together the set that came in the box once to check whether the pieces were there. They were always there. And I guess in the background, we didn't know we were learning it, but we were learning new building techniques, right? But then we would immediately take it apart and we would kit things out like by color. We had like, you know, the plates were lows, then the bricks were highs, and then we had specials. So we like organized our bricks, and then mostly we just played. And I feel like that playing and new creation is not done as much with the new generation of Lego builders who want to build the set as it's branded for Marvel or Star Wars and then like put it on a shelf. So when you're using the word mock, are you talking about what I did growing up, is just making something new?
My own creation. That's what mock is. My own creation. So
I knew it stands for that. And I know there's a site where you can like buy people's plans for $4 or whatever else. But like, it's kind of funny that we have to like come up with a word to say like play with Lego or play with bricks or whatever.
Yeah.
Heather, do you have a comment on this? Because I feel like, Heather, you sit between like the corporate world with minifigures and not.
Well, I grew up doing exactly what you were talking about. My dad had a lot of the castle themes, a lot of the scuba underwater themes. And when he was done with those sets and he took them apart, he gave us those bricks. And we just worked off of dresser drawers full of broken down sets. And we built what we wanted to build. My favorite thing was always just little houses and street-based places. So I'm a city. I would be a city mock builder.
Okay.
When I get to that point. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I do love a good set though, and I also love being able to add lights to it if it's simple enough.
And what lights do you add?
I've only ever done one set that had string lights, and I did not like that because they weren't placed. They weren't placed in appropriate spots. I want specific things lit up, and I've never done that. But I'm also a little intimidated by it. So I want.
And those lights, did the lights come in a Lego branded set, or was that a third party kind of?
No, it was a third party.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple out there, but I haven't really honestly done my research, and everybody's like, you can already buy lights. And I'm kind of like, I'm not selling lights. Like, if you want to buy my lights, that's fine. But I'm selling like a system of learning. It's like a whole other thing over here.
Right.
This is my award-winning mock.
Oh, it's a concert? That's awesome.
It's a concert, yeah. You can do anything with some of these off-brand lights.
That's so cool.
It's got different stage lighting up there.
What's going on here?
Yeah, a bunch of different Batmans.
So you built your own little circuit of lights for that, right?
Well, yes. I strung them up. I ran it through, so it's not like I followed instructions for that. Like, this is my own layout. Like,
your own creation.
In this month's mock is the Wild West, and so I built a barn.
And you added movement to this one.
And I added some movement. I added a crane in the background for the
UFO.
There's a whole crane with the UFO. There's a cow that goes in and out of the barn. And I got to plug in the lights, but I'm using, these are candles right here for the fire pit, and they're lit up. There's a light up in there. And right up in here is kind of where I can access my wires. So, yeah, it's just kind of more you planning out where your wires are. But I love doing that stuff. I love movement and lights and.
Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a windmill in the background?
I want a windmill.
It's a slow moving. It's going to be perfect. I love it. And yes, definitely this motor will drive that crane, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, see, there we go. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but just wait till you see how complex the circuit is to change the direction of a motor, because it's kind of a pain and you probably don't want to do it. So it'll lift your UFO up just fine, and then you'll be like, oh, I gotta build a whole other size circuit for that. I don't care.
Yeah, it's work in progress. We'll see. I love walking. I'm up for the challenge. Dancing cows and cowboys. I like it.
So how long do you think it's going to take Sparkbox to get out there and actually be able to move product?
Yeah, great question. I have to choose my words carefully here a little bit because I don't want to break people's hearts. We're aiming to deliver our Kickstarter orders before the end of the year, which kind of hints towards the holidays, including Christmas.
Nice.
But having backed over 50 Kickstarters and knowing a lot of other creators, I am aware enough to know that things will come up along the way. So I've built in buffer to our schedule, and yet I also know I don't want to make that hard promise. So I've actually told people in comments online, like, do not order this for Christmas. We're doing our best to ship it well before that, but we don't know what's coming down the pike. So as I described, we have over 200 part numbers, and we've already started production on the basics. So inside we'll just start with probably the most basic piece we have. Inside every spark blocks, you'll see these two shiny studs. They're gold conductive spring pins, and they're studs on the top, and then on the bottom, they're spring pins. And I don't think there's much that you can see in there, but that's the basis of all the connectivity. And then between those two, we have an actual circuit board that, in this case, because it's just a wire, has no components on it, right? So it's just a bare circuit board with a single trace. But in other instances, there are components inside that get, soldered down to that circuit board. And so we've ordered and started to receive the hundreds of thousands of studs that we need for this Kickstarter delivery. And that's pretty exciting.
Right.
It's a little overwhelming because, like, although spring pins are pretty common in the world, we're already at the like high volume manufacturing levels of these factories who supply these. So I think we're using them in higher quantity than anyone else I've found so far, which is kind of a bummer from a pricing perspective. But all that to say, it's a well-oiled process, and we're getting the best pieces we can. Nice. And then we've also just submitted the first orders for the circuit boards in all of our different components. And so those circuit board houses are making the empty circuit boards and procuring the components that get pick and placed onto those before it goes under the solder flow machine. And then in parallel to that, we've done that first because those are our longest lead items. In parallel to that, we have the mechanical side of things, which is plastic injection molds. We make our parts out of ABS. It's a super durable, long life plastic. I'm pretty sure it's what Lego uses still, although I might be wrong on that. But it's kind of like the standard. And so we've already cut some molds, and we've sent the designs for the next few molds, and they should be cutting those as we speak. And then there's a couple parts that are a little more detailed that we're still in the final design for. In fact, we have a design review early this week. But soon those will be sent to the mold making house. And then, it takes a while to cut the molds and do the first few shots, they call it, where you get pieces out. And anytime you have a new tool like that, the first few pieces are not going to be perfect because they're, as experienced as a team that you work with, they're going to learn things about your particular part and how the plastic is flowing out of the injection point around. And so there'll be a few little tweaks based on, the temperature of the plastic when it gets rammed in and how fast it's getting pushed in and how it flows around the part. And in many cases, the the plastic you see will be all one piece of plastic fully around the circuit board. And in other cases, it'll look a little bit more like our siren. This is an integrated circuit that generates it generates the signal for your speaker. And basically, I don't know if you can see here. Yeah, it's really hard to see actually. There's a seam line along the side where the top and the bottom half click together. And that's what these two big blocks are, is like click points. You saw it probably on the motor as well.
Yes.
You can ignore the prototype quality crack. But anyway, so they snap together. So in some cases, they're like single piece, super durable, run a tank over it. In other places, they're clicked together. They're still very durable. They're not serviceable in any way. You can't pull them apart, but they are two pieces just because of the complexity of the part. Like we couldn't actually flow molten plastic around this motor without gumming it all up. So, so this is a long-winded way of saying we've already started production. We hope to have the parts before October in good quantity. Let's see how that goes. And then we hope to ship them out well before the holidays. But, you know, there's nothing right now that I know that's standing in our way, but I'm also aware enough to, or like humble enough to say things could go sideways. And the same thing is true, by the way, I'm going to send out a backer update this week, but the same thing is true of our testing. So toy testing is notoriously difficult. That you have to test for so many things. There's like, I don't know, 50 tests we're doing. It's like, it's absurd. It's in like the dozens of tests. And so we've started that process, but we don't have much control over it. Right now, we don't know of any reason that we wouldn't pass any test. Like it's all very basic stuff. So like you have to test the material you're working with. Well, I know that this is ABS and ABS is shown to be kid safe and all that, but still we have to do the test. So we have to go through this process, and I don't know how long the process will take. So it could be that our Kickstarter units go out without a fully tested stamp on the side of the box. But we probably would not go to retail before getting those tests done, right? Like there's some leeway in this like prototype land of Kickstarter that we think we can work with. So yeah, I want to say Christmas, but like we're working as fast as we can, and who knows? Yeah.
What? That's understandable. I've never started a business or anything, so I don't even know what it would take to even get it started. And
now, not only that, this is not just everyday stuff either. This is a little bit more complex stuff that you have to think of to put into that brick, you know?
Yeah,
So,
it's true. Yeah. I mean, most injection molders that you go to would say you want to put a circuit board into the mold first. Like, no, I'm not touching that. That's like a whole new can of worms. So most of the people who do insert molding, as far as I'm aware, are doing it for medical devices, meaning it's like really precision, really high end. And like, we're kind of coming at it from the other end. We're like, how basic can you do insert molding? Because we don't need, like, we're, you know, we want good clickability and everything else, but like, we don't have patients' lives depending on it. So it's an interesting place we are. We couldn't have been doing this 20 years ago for sure. We probably couldn't do it because of price 10 years ago, but we're just rounding that point now where it might make sense to do. And that's why when people start comparing our price to Lego or knockoff bricks, they're like, you guys are like making a fortune. I'm like, no, I'm actually not paying myself at all. We just raised over $500,000 in Kickstarter, and I'm going to see goose egg of it for myself because the prices are just that much, right? Like we can order these off-brand bricks that are really good quality. Like, you know, as a kid, I would get an off-brand brick mixed into my set, and as I'm grabbing for a piece looking the other direction, I'm like, hey, what is this? I can feel this immediately. Like, this is not, and I look and I'm like, oh, get this, I like throw it in the bin. And now I'm like really impressed with what you can get for so cheap. So we can buy, you know, normal big bricks, like normal things, 3 cents each, right? That's with that company's profit baked in, 3 cents. And then our stuff, even the basics, are nearing $1 of cost, right? So it's like, to make a business work, you have to be at, you know, 5 times cost of goods. So that's a $5 part all of a sudden. And it feels expensive to people. And I get that. So that's why I think actually we'll see more success in the classroom kits, because each piece will get used by dozens of students over time. And then maybe there'll be the specialty market where people get really into it. But, you know, if you think you're buying a piece of plastic and you're actually buying something that's normally made by medical device creators, like, we got to find a way to meet in the middle.
I'm sure there's going to be some of us out here that probably be buying them for.
Yeah, fair. I have realized that, like, you know, I've been out of the, like, I have a 4 and a 6-year-old, and I'm just starting to get into creating stuff with Lego with them again. But I've been out of the Lego game for a while, and I'm amazed at how much certain sets cost. And I'm like, okay, there's a market for this. Like, people are getting really into it as adults, and they have good jobs, and they're willing to spend their paycheck on it. Like, let's see if they want to buy this stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's going to have to hold my paycheck again.
She might want to just get it direct deposited somewhere else for her sake.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it. I'm enjoying this. I like the ideas. I mean, now you got everybody's brain just going to see what they can do with what brain with what your product you got going on there. People, I mean, I can see people's brains just thinking, well, I could use this piece there probably and make a drawbridge go up and down, or a windmill, like you said, putting lights. I mean,
basically, I just did a post on Instagram. Basically, like, any set you buy is kind of fun to think about sparkifying, I call it. So, like, this is a Lego Nissan car, and then a buddy. Sorry, I don't know the part number. I should. The box is, here we go. Fast and Furious 76917 by Lego. It's great. It looks awesome. But then, like, and I actually don't have a battery in it right now, but basically he took the, well, I don't know if it's charged. He took the back out, and back where like a mid-engine would be, he put a light in there, and then he took some shots at sunset, and it was like, this is so much cooler. I don't think I can share my screen, but if you go to Instagram, you'll see it. It's the post that went up today, I think, or maybe yesterday. And it's like, we can bring these things to life. We can do more with these pieces of plastic, which is kind of fun.
Especially that size of car. That's the Speed Champ size, and everybody's into Speed Champs right now. And the fact that you put lights and potentially put movement into this, like,
that's what I'm saying. You can even put that little machine to turn the wheel of the car.
Yeah,
there you go.
100%. Like, that is embeddable. I'm not saying it's going to be easy or elegant necessarily, but, like, people are super creative, and it will fit in here.
Right. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Definitely a market.
Yeah, exactly.
I promise you, somebody got some of your stuff, your product there. They will make it work and look good, and everybody's jaw is going to be hitting the floor. Yeah, and they're going to say, "Where'd you get that? I want that."
Yeah.
You're just going to cause a chain reaction.
That's awesome. I mean, I hope so. And then we'll have to hit some higher production numbers probably. Yeah. We just crossed, I think, 2,000 backers on Kickstarter, which felt like a lot. Like, we didn't think we were going to get that reaction. So that's awesome. And then now I need to start thinking about, a friend was actually chatting with me over a beer recently, and he's like, Holden, you're not thinking about this right. You need to be solving, instead of 2,000 sets over the next 6 months, he's like, how are you going to do 10,000 sets a month? That's what you need to be solving. And I was like, maybe I do. Yeah. Oh my God. But all I
can actually see that taking off for real though. I mean, because people, I mean, for my short time in the Lego community, I've been to shows and everybody's into lights, like you said earlier. But they're going to be into all this power functioning and the noise making and all that stuff. So I can see it.
Yeah.
Like your friend said.
Is there a way to power other types of lights with this product?
So I can take that question either of two ways. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I have something here.
That is a good question.
Okay, so I think there's two meanings. The question could be that you want to hook onto these studs and power something that didn't come with this kit. And you know that this is a 3.7 volt lithium battery and it's USB chargeable. And so you want to pair something new. So
USB chargeable.
USB rechargeable.
What?
USB rechargeable. I love that.
A little USB-C.
Okay.
But in the intro kit, you will not find mention of this, but in the advanced kit, you'll notice. Can you make the screen bigger? I don't know.
Yes, I can. Hang on.
So in the advanced kit, we do make mention of these two black holes here, one on each side. Let me grab something. Stay there. So this is called a DuPont wire, and it's a very common in the wiring world for breadboarding and stuff like that. And you can just plug that in there, and now you've got a hookup to your positive side. And then also you could plug another one into the negative side, and you can take that remotely somewhere else and power whatever kind of light you want off this wire, as long as it's, you know, within the battery's power profile. Similarly, if you wanted to make some advanced robotics that has like a multi-part body where the front moves differently than the back, you could do the same thing, running wires between the two sections, plug into the side of the motor, right? Because the motor also has these power points.
Okay.
And then also a few other parts too. Let me see if I have one around. Yeah, we've also
now plugging in like those wires like that would be great for them tires on that speed champ. That's perfect.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the way. Then we have this other part, which we call a stud to wire. So it's got the gold conductive stud on one side, but then on the other side, it's got one of these same DuPont wires. So you can go, you know, from your circuit into wires somewhere far away and power something else. But then I was going to answer the question another way, and that is like, how do you power things? And maybe it wasn't quite the question, but we have this battery, but then we also have, this comes in our advanced kit, and it's kind of what we call it, like the hardwire solution, where there's no battery involved, where you have a USB-C and it goes directly out to those studs. And so that's like the always on, like if you wanted to have one of these devices on your desk, like the marble lifter on your desk full time, and you don't want to be charging the battery or like, you know, having it, maybe you want to use the battery in something else, you could just put this power brick in and hardwire it with basically a phone charger, right? Like USB-C just plugs right in. And then you've got all the power you need for that device without ever charging a battery. So we're working on other power options. It's just a question of like, what's the most common, most needed things. And so between these two that come in the advanced kit, I think we've got a lot of the use cases covered. And then you add on like the DuPont wire points and just like, okay, we can start to do some pretty cool advanced robotic stuff, even though we don't have yet the H bridges and the Arduinos and everything else. But that's coming. Yeah. Nice. So we want to make this as forward compatible as possible so that when we release something new, it already clicks in. Yeah.
Wow.
I would love to know more about the lighting systems that you want to use with this so that I can, I don't know, if possible, design to those standards. But I don't know if there are standards or if there's just like, you know, one-offs. That would be so useful to illuminate modulars. Okay. Yeah.
Man, I think there's so much lighting out there and different hookups too. They all don't have the same kind of hookup, do they, Cal? I know.
No, not necessarily. There's definitely, I have two different size of plugs that will plug into one circuit, but then I also have these other battery packs that are USB battery packs. I love the way he's going with it, because it takes all these extra wires I have to hide and struggle with out of the picture.
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, because like the bricks make it so visual to make a circuit. And yet this is a fairly simple circuit, and it's like 4 or 5 bricks high, and it's kind of unwieldy, and you have to think in 3D. So like there's a blessing and a curse there. Like it's definitely engaging your brain, but it's going to be really difficult to fit all this below on that false floor of your dance, at your dance concert, Cal, right? Like it's not going to fit in there. So
yeah, good point.
You might have to pretend that there's a big woofer on the side of the stage, and then like this is actually what's
there.
inside.
You go. See, now that's the whole point of mocking, and I call it Disneyfying everything, because Disney likes to put up facades. I kind of hate putting up facades. I'd rather build you a whole building, but if it hides the guts, so be it. You know.
That's perfect.
Oh, yeah, Scott, thanks for that question. That's that's a good one. And you're saying you're using 0.5 meter plugs, but I don't know what that means, but maybe I should. I don't know.
Very small plugs.
They're very small. My big fingers. I tried lights one time and I failed miserably. My big fingers is hard. I mean, I had to use tweezers to get.
You literally need tweezers for these things.
Okay. Yeah, it's out of focus, but I trust you. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And there's a little connector that you can pull out the side. I see. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty small. Yeah.
Very small.
That's what you need to hide it. Yeah.
But to also have a bare wire connection is awesome. Scotty is our AFOL electrician.
Nice.
So
Scotty's mind is popping off right now. I love it.
He's ready.
Zizu's right. As mock builders now, and I'm kind of new to this Mills plate era, but so many people do this extraordinary stuff called Mills plate, and they like engrave the landscaping by putting like basically a hollow ground beneath the structure, like a hideaway.
Yeah.
So that's one way to do it. What's up, Jay? Moo.
What's up, Jay?
Jay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't know this Mills plate technology, or like that it had a name and everything, and now I'm seeing there's so much about it online. So yeah, you could definitely pump it up higher.
Yeah, but it's at least one brick high, and then your plates are however. But I'm fairly new to it, and I'm glad because it actually has taken my mocks to a new level.
Yeah,
you can
literally.
You can hide
literally.
stuff.
Now, do you use these Technic style bricks with the through holes for your wires, or do you just leave a gap?
Yeah, so you can if you're trying to so this one over here, I used an archway to come out.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. But your technique there with the very small plug running it through Technic and Technic pins, I have actually used that way. So
okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tonight's show is right up my alley. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Miss Dina loves it. Very nice.
You have a YouTube channel, correct? And an Instagram and a website. We have it all in the description. And
yeah, it's all there. We're, as I said, it's just Mark and I. So we struggle to like stay on top of things if we're in a production mode, or if I'm like we're working on some videos now for like classroom instruction and also actually like homeschool instruction. And so we have to bounce between these modes. And then I'm like, hey, I haven't actually like checked Facebook in a few days. I should probably like get on top of those comments.
You need to hire you a social guy. That's all he takes care of for you.
I guess maybe, but like, then you got to figure out how to pay him too. So there's that.
You know, pay him in Lego. I don't. They want to know, where do we buy?
Yeah, just go to sparkbox.ca and it'll, let's see, there should be a big button. It says pre-order on Kickstarter. Yeah, right there. Click through and you could click back this project and it'll give you a few choices of, you know, what level you want to back at, what kind of kits you want and all that. But yeah. Take a look at the Kickstarter page. There's a lot of info. Like I go through all the wires on there. I go through the different power options. I went through as much as I could, and the reality is we just had prototypes. So there's probably still some open questions there, but yeah.
There you go.
Love to have you as part of the community. And I guess I should mention, like Cliff, you mentioned mocking and, you know, people creating their own sets. And that is already kind of as of a year and a half ago on the roadmap, that we would like to have a site where people can come and upload from Bricklink Studio their own Sparkbox sets, right?
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so our parts are we've like brought them into Studio so you can click them together, and that's how we're designing all these things. But we'd like to release that to the world. And then people could say like, they could sell the directions for their set. And then anyone out there could say like, I want to either, buy the directions only, or I want to buy the directions with only the spark blocks that are required for it, because I've got all my other plastic bricks. And then there would be a question of whether we actually would want to get into buy this as a set world. But I think that's probably too big for now. But for sure, we want to be selling the pieces that let people build what they want to build. And, we can't do piece by piece right now just because we wouldn't know of how many of each type to build. But we are already thinking of kind of selling like a power pack that comes with a couple batteries and the USB, bricks, and a lights pack that comes with a whole bunch of different lights. And we have lights only in my hand that are 1x4s, but we are cutting the mold on the 1x2 lights and the 1x3 lights. So there'll be like some options there. And then maybe there's like a switches pack where you can get all different types of switches and sensors. So those are actually already kitted up on the Shopify site, but hidden from view because I don't have a way to sell them right now, but they will this fall.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So that idea of like people uploading their own designs it's what we want to build towards, but it's just going to take some time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does Chad have any final questions for Mr. Holden here? Time to ask him now, or forever hold your peace.
Or send him a message. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer.
Or just, drop me a line. You can also email me, holden@sparkblocks.ca, or just any contact info you find is fine.
Good.
Cool. Thanks so much, guys.
Hey, we do appreciate you coming on and taking time and telling us. I didn't know. I'll be honest, I never heard anything of Spark Blocks until Cal.
Yeah.
I haven't shut up about it since I met you.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you all got to watch the video on the Kickstarter page. That is like, we're really proud of that. And it really kind of plays to both areas of like imagination and learning. And we work with some friends here in town that are filmmakers up here in this tiny town in Canada where we live. And they did an amazing video for us. So yeah, it's on our YouTube as well. So yeah.
But I'm
cool.
glad I got to meet you, and I'm glad I know about Spark Blocks, and I'm gonna look at your website every day, see if I can find something I want and hide it from the wife from getting it.
Don't check too often. Yeah. Cal, thanks for reaching out. I was happy to be here. And as Cliff said, I'm always happy to have an email, or Heather said as well. Just drop a line. Nice to meet you, Heather. Nice to meet you, Cliff. And thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Welcome here anytime. You know where we're at. Don't forget us.
You can hang out and chat and see what we're doing.
Yeah. All right. Pandemonious Panda, Canada shout out. Yeah. I'm American by birth, but immigrated up here a few years ago and love it. So yeah, Canada's awesome.
There you
go. I'm almost there. I'm kidding.
All right, guys. You too. Next Sunday's game night, so be here at 8:00. We'll be playing a game. So don't forget that. And Cal, you going live this week?
Yes. On Tuesday I'll be live. We're doing Mock Tuesday. I'm actually probably going to put a little bit more detail into the barn. And I might actually submit photos, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes Tuesday. So, but I might submit photos tonight is what I'm saying. I probably wait till Tuesday.
Heather, you haven't said a word all night, Harley. No, you got any words?
I've just been sitting here enjoying this whole thing, honestly. But if you guys stay tuned to the Minifig Club, we've got some giveaways for you guys on social media.
Very cool.
There you go.
Mooncow25, you get 25% off your first monthly subscription.
Wednesday night, we'll be back in the Jungle Building. I think I did a poll in the Explorer group thing, and I guess we'll be building the 3-in-1 dragon. So, guys, until the next one, keep clicking and breaking.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Holden.